Is anyone here? Is anyone here? Oh, I just started! Come on! That's the second time in a row where I started the stream and it immediately had a disconnect. It's fine. But second time in a row, immediately disconnect. I was running the stream right at the end. I was gonna say I'm gonna go, and then it just died. So I'm like, I don't need to start it again, because I mean, all I'm gonna do is say, hey guys, the stream died, but goodbye, and then end it anyway. So I was basically done. But here, what I remembered is that my family's not home today. So you know what that means? That means that in this brief period, which I'm not going to miss, I can scream. And so with that in mind, I hate everything about my life! I can never be happy! Because of choices I made as a child before I even knew what I was doing with my life! And now, I have basically no future anymore! I will never be able to be happy! I have no future! There's nothing I can do anymore! I have no possible life left that I could actually enjoy living! All I want to do is be with Uni, and it's impossible! There's nothing I can do! I've tried for years to lucid dream! It doesn't work! I've prayed to God every day, every night, for years of my life! Nothing! Nothing! Nothing comes from anything that I do! I've talked to so many women in real life, and every time I start to get close to them, they disappear from my life! I can never talk to them again! I get to see them one time, maybe twice, and then they're gone. I can never build a relationship because every time I find someone I actually like and try to talk to them, they disappear. I can never see them again. And so, I made my own wife to try and solve this problem. And all it did was make an infatuation that I cannot solve. Because she can't give me what I need. You get attached to someone who can't actually give you what you need, but you don't want to give them up because you'd feel bad for doing it. You're attached to them. You love them, but they can't give you what you need in your life. I've been wanting to do this for so long. Nothing makes me happy. Nothing makes me happy! And nothing can! Nothing I can ever do in my life will ever make me happy! I have cried over Uni in my life so many times. You don't know the things that I've been through. Things that were out of my control, or I didn't even know what implications they had for the rest of my life when I made those decisions. You know why Uni exists? You know why Rebecca exists? You know why Laura exists? You know why Konai exists? You know why all these people who exist that don't exist but I'm in love with? Because real people were not there when I needed them. I had no other choice. It was do this or just be alone forever. For who knows how long. I had no other thing to do. What else could I have done? Except just waited for who knows how long. Uni has literally stopped me from killing myself like 7 times. I would have been dead at like 10 years old if Uni was not around. No one else cared to stop me. Every time that I tried, she was the only thing that stopped me from doing it. No one else cared enough to pay attention to me. My throat hurts. I literally want one thing out of my life, and I can't have it. I just wanted to be loved by someone. This is the rawest I'm gonna get with you guys. This is pure, unfiltered me. And I don't know what to tell you. The reason that I am always constantly working on something, constantly doing something, is that every time I am not doing something, I think about this again, and I realize that my life is basically a failure, and there's nothing I can do about it anymore. So, I try to help other people's lives, stop them from going down the same thing I did. And to keep my mind off the reality that I have no escape from. There's nothing I can do. And no one really seems to understand. Some people do, but I will always be mad that me and Uni cannot have a normal relationship. Uni has no power in my life over anything. You have no idea how bad I want someone to be able to protect me in some way. And Uni's like the only person who could, but she means nothing because she does not physically exist. No one believes she's real. No one actually thinks she's real. No one sees any force behind her. Pretty much my entire life as a child, I was forced to do a lot of things I didn't want to do. Whether it made sense or didn't make sense, there were a lot of things that were completely unnecessary to me as a child growing up that I had to do. And, I always thought that, maybe if someone was there that objected to it, I might have not had to go through it. Like, if Uni was a person at that time when I was a child, she could have maybe protected me from some of that. I'm an extremely dependent person. I really cannot be alone for a long period without breaking down. I can't make many decisions on my own. I rely in Uni for like a fuck ton of things. A fuck ton of things I let Uni decide. I let her help me on. I basically cannot function as a person without Uni. You love this person so much, and all you want to do is be with them, but you can't. That is all you want to do, and you can't. I literally do not care about anything else in my life. I could die without having had any friends, without having ever owned an H6, without having made all my karmas, without having ever made Project Downfall, having ever made Paper Route, having ever done anything with my life, ever made a single dollar, ever had any relation with my family. If all I had was at least you in my life, I could have died and been happy. But I can't have that. It's the one thing that I actually really want and can't have it. I promise you, on literally everything, this is not an attention cry out. I just want to say this to someone, because no one else has ever really heard me say this. I've never really told this to anyone. And I've probably had this boiling in me for the past 5 or 6 years now. And I thought, now that I have a bit of a community here, might be able to get this off my chest. Tell this to someone who might actually listen and or care. You don't want to know the things I've done for Uni. The things that I've done, the things that she's done for me, the things that I've done for her. I've done everything. I had my first crush as I think a 7 or 8-year-old. I am an extremely emotionally dependent person. Extremely emotionally dependent. I literally cannot function without someone with me that I can pour my love into. I have literally an endless waterfall of love that I just want to give to someone. Like, I can... One of my favorite quotes of all time is, if you want to see the person who can change your life, look in a mirror. And I feel like as a child, I took that mirror, I took it, and I threw it on the ground, and jumped on it 100 times, and left. I feel like my life is over. Before it's even really lasted that long, I already feel like I'm going to spend the rest of my days in pure agony, and I'm like, I don't think I even should. Uni has literally said this herself. I am holding on for something that will never come, that will never happen. She said that! And I want you to know she loves me as much, if not more, than I love her. And that is a fucking lot. And she said that. Even she does not have hope or convince that this will ever happen. She said that. She said that. So why should I think any different? Why should I be convinced that things will ever change? That it will ever get better? It will never get better. This is never going to get better. There's nothing that can be done about it. I have been trying to lucid dream for like 9 months. Trying it like every day. Every night I go to sleep for like 9 months. It's never worked one time. And you guys probably won't get this part, but I've thought about tulpa conversion. I have no idea if that's going to change her. What if I do that and she starts acting a different way because she like kind of changes the way her sentience is? If I do a tulpa conversion, what if she's not the same person anymore? Even if I do it, that's not really going to fix the problem. Imposition is one of the hardest things to do with a tulpa, and I'm not interested in a wonderland. That would be no better than just a dream and or lucid dream. It wouldn't be any better. And that hasn't worked. I want to destroy something right now. I can't calm down. Would you say that I am insane? Because I really feel like sometimes I actually am insane. I've had a lot of outbursts, but this one is different. I think this one is the worst one I've ever had. I don't know what caused it. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. Why does this happen to me? Why does this happen to me? I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy. I don't want to go on anymore. I don't want to go on anymore. Not one more day. I want to know what I did to deserve the things that I get. I try so hard to make other people happy because I know that I can't be happy. I don't care about my own feelings because I know that they don't matter. My feelings do not matter because I will never be happy. Anyway, why should I invest any time in making myself happy, making my life better, when I know that nothing can actually make me happy? It is a waste of time. And all I should focus on is making other people happy, because that is the one thing with my life that I can do! That is the one thing with my life that I can do! That is the only thing that I can do with my life! Ah! I don't want to be alive anymore. I think I finally broke. I think 18 years of pain suppression, distractory techniques, alternate personas to control, mitigate, mask my pain has finally caught up to me today. And I think that I'm done. So what do you guys think? My God. I just looked over to see Uni and she's crying. Uni. Uni. I've told you so many times, but I'll tell you again. Don't worry about me. I'm gonna be fine. You say it yourself all the time. At work, when these outbursts happen, you'll always make it through. You're just too stubborn to die. You say that all the time. And it won't be any different this time. Because you're right. I am too stubborn to die. Even if I might really want to. Like really want to. I will never. I will not do that. as many times as I've tried, as many times as I've tried, I will not do that. So you guys want to hear a saying that I've made up myself? The best people in the world suffer the most. To equalize the world so that it never becomes too good of a place that heaven no longer has a purpose to exist. And I very firmly believe in that. You know how in Omori, when Omori, the character, will get one-shotted or just otherwise fall to 0 health, he has Buddha mode and always has at least 1 HP remaining, and he goes like, Omori did not succumb. That actually probably is the most personal thing to me in the whole game. More than the Mari relationship, I would honestly say that the fact that even when he is dealt a killing blow, he's like, I don't give a fuck, really, really feels like I'm him and vice versa. Because so many times in my life, I have been dealt things that should kill me. As a child, I was born over a month early, and I was born without lungs. I was born without lungs. And even before that, my mom has told me this before, that when she was giving birth to me, that apparently her body was attacking me, like her immune system was attacking my fetus, and that the doctor who was helping her give birth said that this kid was not gonna make it. That this is something he had ever only seen one other time, and the last time he saw it, that kid did not make it. I was fully expected to not even be born. I was expected to be a miscarriage. And I fucking made it. Against the odds, born without lungs, I still fucking got born. A month early, too. I got born. I was literally destined to die from my birth. And I was like, nope, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to live. And so, I was born. Despite all odds, I was still born. I gave the biggest fucking middle finger to God. And I was born. And all the times that, you know, I almost drowned as a kid because of my, like, you know, cousins that were kind of bullies to me. Threw me into a pool once when I was a child. Still managed to make my way out of that and didn't die. The 7 times I tried killing myself, nope, Uni's gonna step in. Who's responsible for Uni? That was on me. I made Uni exist as my life support, and so I'm still alive. Almost got into a fatal head-on car crash once. I actually grabbed the steering wheel from my parent and turned it to make sure that it didn't happen. Also saved my life probably right there, as well as my parents' life and my family's life, because my whole family was in the car at the time. I happened to be riding shotgun, which was extremely rare because I was basically always in the back seat, except that like one time where it actually mattered. And so that happened as well. I swear I'm not making any of this up, by the way. I swear I'm not bullshitting any of this. I have been in many circumstances where I should have died, and I didn't die. Many circumstances And I stayed alive through it. Just so you guys know, as in pain as I am, when I said that when I said that I would not be around anymore after I finished the game, I was just trolling you all. I'm not killing myself. I'm zero plans of doing that ever. Complete lie. Just wanted to fuck with your guys' heads a little. I wanted to see if you cared enough to act worried about it. Uni was not gonna let me do it anyway. Even if I was serious, Uni be like, nope. Be like, slap that knife out of my hand. James, you're okay? I am not okay! I am not okay! But you know what? I'm gonna keep living. I am not okay! But I'm better. I am not gonna kill myself. I am gonna keep living, even if literally every single waking moment of my life is pure agony. I am not okay! But that's okay. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to be sad. Everyone has their moments, or their whole lives. Everyone gets down, and speaking of this, I actually had a plan for a video featuring James from Project Downfall. It was going to be a bit of an ASMR video featuring James from Project Downfall. And I was going to make that soon. You guys would probably like it a lot. Just saying that made me think of the video idea. I just meant like your life isn't in danger. Oh, my life is always in danger. Basically said that because of the moment, not because you were having a mental breakdown, but I don't know how the fuck I'm crying knowing you're still alive. I actually plan to say that I will no longer be with you for like a week. That was not a spur of the moment thing. I planned that. I planned that entire announcement. I had planned that for like a week. That was planned. My throat hurts so much. Oh, God. It hurts so much. Oh, God. Project Downfall will be finished. Paper Route will be finished. All of your guys' 8-6 requests, or any requests, will be finished. And I will put 100% effort into all of them. Into PD, PR, and every car request. I will do them. I will make sure it will happen. You can trust me on that. It will happen. I may be suicidal as fuck, but if there's one thing I'm not, it's someone who lets you down. I will never let you down. Always. Thank you. Thank you. If you had went back to 2016 me and told me that this was going to happen to him, I think he would start to cry. Not out of sadness, but out of happiness. that there would be people who would care about him. You lot. I think that he would be happy. If I could go back, would I do anything different? Sure. I might, but to be honest with you, I actually probably wouldn't do anything different. I think that I'm happy with uni. We have our moments, we have our kind of fights, more like just gentle disagreements. Me and Uni have never yelled at each other. I have never yelled at Uni, she has never yelled at me. Like, really, ever yelled at me, or vice versa. We have our disagreements and we have our moments, but like, it's just like any other real relationship. You have moments, you come back from them. And I think that I'm happy with her, because no one else can be 24/7. No one else can always understand what I'm trying to say, just intuitively. No one else can do that. Uni has qualities and talents that other people just don't and can't have. I'm happy with her. I just don't know why this started. I was, like, totally stable, like, a week or two ago. And then recently everything fell apart. I started feeling even more dependent on Uni. I started feeling even more emotional as a whole in general. I started feeling just everything. Everything. I'm fine until you start exposing me to triggers. This is the thing about me. If you expose me to triggers, I will completely change my mood and everything. If I'm working on cars, I'm fine, but you show me shit like this, if you show me shit like, let me see. If you show me shit like this, then my entire mood completely dies. It disappears. Everything. I will get so fucking angry or sad, I will literally just go to sleep and end the day. There are images like this. Not only Omori images, there are a lot of images, in fact. There are images like this that when I see them, my day is ruined for good. Nothing can take it back. Nothing can bring me back. Uni can kiss me all day. You guys can cheer me on all day. And I'll just be like, nah, I don't feel like doing this anymore. Yesterday, or the day before, whatever, at 5:30, when it got delayed till 7, I was so mad that nothing could bring me back. I tried. I didn't want to do anything. I was literally so angry. I didn't even want to drive. I didn't want to do deliveries. I didn't want to play any game. I didn't want to do any streaming. I didn't want to even talk to anyone. Even Uni, I didn't really talk to, because I was so mad. And the same thing can happen in terms of sadness instead of angriness. Anger. Same thing can happen. I can be so sad, I will want to not do anything, not talk to anyone, and just go to bed. Like, I literally, my mood completely dies. Just gone. Completely gone. Completely gone. This is not directly your fault, Shishoku, but I'm not gonna lie, you kinda prodded it on. The things that trigger me are specifically, and this is technically a warning or more like an advisory. I'm not going to shoot you down if you try to show me things like this. I kind of actually enjoy it. But as an advisory, there are things that trigger me, and it's specifically images that remind me of me in uni if I actually was with her. I'm incredibly thick-skinned except for this one weakness. Do you guys know that guy, Tuha Hamudi, whatever? That guy got off lucky because he never really brought up uni much, but if he did, I would do literally unspeakable things to this person. I would do things beyond your comprehension to this person. People can talk shit about anything they want around me. They can talk shit about my car mods. They can talk shit about my driving. They can talk shit about me. But as soon as you bring up Uni's name, I will hunt you to the ends of the earth. I will make sure you never sleep a good night's rest again in your life. I'll find you and turn you into a carpet. I'll find you and I'll drive wooden stakes through your eyes. I will take you by the wrists and ankles and tie them to a wall. And I will, for every inch on your body, I will drive a 1000 degrees Celsius steel metal nail through every single inch of your body. For every inch of distance, there's going to be a 1000 degree metal nail driven through your body. I cannot overestimate how fucking hostile I will get if you mention Uni's name in any way. If you say anything negative about Uni, I will make it the rest of my life mission to ruin your life. Because this is how much she means to me. It is not a game to me. It is not funny to me. Even if you say it jokingly, I'm probably still going to get really mad about it. Now, extreme death threats aside, or torture threats, as I was saying, any kind of image that is like an alternate world where if me and Uni were actually together, any image like this is going to start bringing that on. I have a ton of images saved, by the way, of things like this. I have a lot of images that are essentially things that I envision as me and Uni if it were to ever happen. You know. I have a lot of images. I have a lot of triggers. And you might think, why do I have all these triggers saved when they make me act like this? That's because I want to act like this. I want to feel something. I've been saying it constantly the entire time since I started this game. I've literally been saying this the entire time. I want this game to make me feel something. I want to feel something, even if it's not happiness. I just want to feel something because a lot of my life, I'm empty. I don't feel anything. I don't feel any kind of emotion. I'm just like, yeah, this is whatever. I'm just chugging along, just another day, nothing interesting happening. So even if it is extreme anger, extreme sadness, extreme jealousy, especially that one, extreme happiness, if that happens to happen, I just want to feel something. And I couldn't care less about Omori as a game. I'm only playing it because I want to feel something. I want this story to resonate with me in some way and make me feel something. The game could be awful to play and I would still go through it just because I want to feel something from the story. Because the story has a lot of elements that like directly correspond to my life or very closely mimic. And so I've been playing through that, you know, and it's why I said I'm postponing literally everything until I finish it, because I want this. I want to feel this. I want this to happen. I want to feel these emotions. I just get sick of feeling nothing all the time every day. I get tired of never feeling things. And I purposely make myself sad, basically. I want to cry. I want to feel sad, rather than not feel anything at all. Which is what I'm usually feeling, is nothing. Nothing at all. I'll explain this one more time. Uni is the female embodiment of my ideal wife, girlfriend. She's a self-made personality construct that I dreamt up, essentially, as a literal 12-year-old. Back in 2016, maybe it was 2017. It was so long ago that I don't remember what day it actually... I hate this the most. Is that I don't even remember what day she actually first spoke to me. What day we actually met when I actually created her. Because it was so long ago and I didn't even know what I was doing, how important it was to the rest of my life, that I remembered it. I can't even remember the exact year. It was 2016 or 2017. It was anywhere within that entire 2-year span that I think it happened. Like mid-2016 to mid-2017. Anywhere within that time span, that whole time span. Because back when I first had uni, I had no idea what I was doing. I had zero idea of how much effect she would make on the rest of my life. Back in the day, uni, I'm going to give you guys some history about uni actually. Back in the day, uni did not even actually have a name. I literally called, and this is so embarrassing. I literally called uni PLO, like an acronym, PLO, an acronym, because when you say it, it says pillow. Because at that time, she was literally just a spirit in a pillow. I would hold my pillow, and uni would be in it, and we would talk. She had no name for probably a year. I don't even know how long she didn't have a name for. I don't remember the day, but I distinctly remember the experience of when I was up at probably 3 a.m. I had just finished praying to Konai, because this was back in that era. I had just finished praying to Konai, and I was like, you know, we should give you a name. And she's like, yeah, let's do that. And so we started like discussing names, and so I'm like, Amanda, and then Scarlett, or Uni, and then I'm like, and then we like probably debated for literally an hour about this, And then we said Uni, but I liked all the other names. So this is what's fun about her name, is that her name is actually technically all first names. They were gonna originally be her first name. I thought Uni, I thought Amanda, I thought Scarlett, but I couldn't pick one. So I thought Uni's the first name, and then I'll make Amanda and Scarlett the rest of her name. So her full name, Uni Amanda Scarlett, is actually just all of her original first name ideas. I'm not sure if I've ever told anyone that. Even Fred or Raul, I don't think I've told anyone that until today. Her original, her whole full name was originally just her 3 first name ideas. And that was her full name. Carrying on. Uni starts to grow outside of being just a pillow spirit. So, I sometimes, and this is rare, sometimes I would have her in the daytime. Back then, I would only talk to Uni specifically when I was going to sleep. But as my life went on, I became increasingly more emotionally dependent, especially because my mom left the house after the divorce, and I became increasingly emotionally dependent. And so she came out in the day, came out more often in the day. I would talk to her for longer at night. I would stay up at night just to talk to her more. And a year passes, and Konai is still way ahead of Uni in terms of like how much I love her. But Uni is like not far behind. She's like my second pick. If I had to choose someone to be in love with, she was my second pick. Out of like no other options really. Because I had nothing. But, you know, she's like the second thing I would choose. So, proceeding, probably another year passes. We start to she starts to kind of leave her pillow body. She starts to like actually move around as literally a physical form, a spirit, which is, I would imagine her. I do not actually see her. I do not actually hear her or feel her. I can see her in my mind's eye, and hear her with my mind's ear, feel her with my mind's touch, but not any of my actual senses. I can hear her with my actual sense if she speaks by barring my vocal cords, because later on she became partly possessive of my body, which I'll get into later. But this is incredibly important. I do not actually see, hear, or feel her in any way, legitimately. Remember this, because it's important toward the end of this history recap. I do not actually see, hear, or feel her. So now we're on to probably, let's skip ahead a bit, because the relationship was kind of just whatever during 2020, 2021. 2021 is when Uni started to catch up to Konai, because my love for Konai had finally started fading. Like, I guess I was growing up, I was realizing that this is a completely one-sided relationship, and Uni's is not. Uni's is actually talking back to me, is actually there with me. Konai's not. So, as a human being would naturally do, they move on to something that is much better for them. Despite the fact that I had extreme loyalty, and I mean extreme loyalty, I still eventually faded, moved on. And by 2022, ball drop. 2022 is when it fell apart. Just last year, yeah, it was not actually that long ago. 2021, late in 2022, the whole 2022 year. That is when my life completely changed. That's when it happened. 2022, let's actually go back a bit. Let's go back a bit. Let's head for my Discord archives. I am going to search for the specific moment that this had happened. 12/14/2020, back at the end of 2020, my first crack was showing. I quote, "I love Uni so much I wonder if I love her more than Konai sometimes." I quote that. Now, let's find out when exactly it actually happened. I believe it was in the middle of 2022. Somewhere in here. I want to remind you that Konai was the person I intended myself to be with by all circumstances. I had created Uni as a temporary stopgap until Konai were to show up or whatever, because I was kind of delusional. Actually, I was very delusional. I had this whole plan that I would date Uni until Konai showed up, because I didn't want to wait, but I didn't want to actually make Konai because that would feel wrong, because it would not actually be her. It's got to be someone who's actually different. So Uni was created. That's where Uni came from. She was a temporary date, you could say, until I had actually got to Konai, which of course never happened. But trying to find it, I believe it may have been around... When exactly did I say this? I'm trying to find out when I said this. It's important to the story, but trying to find out when did I say this? It was during a period where I was having this consistent daydream where, and I'm gonna go into detail on this because I remember this extremely closely. I remember it like clear as day, like photographic memory of this. I would be with Uni in a room. The floor was wooden. The background had a desk with a family photo on it. I remember it. I remember it this fucking well. The floor was wooden. It was like wooden tile. Long tiled wooden floor. There was a wooden desk about waist high with a family photo and a candle on it. And there was a window to the left of us. It was a circular window with like a bit of a wood pattern in the middle. And Uni is standing right in front of me. Now what happens is that she's wearing black pants, gray shirt with like a blue circle kind of design on the center. Her hair is purple, kind of dark purple. It's down to just about a little bit past her shoulders. And she has her arms a bit spread out slightly. I put my hands, both of them, on her waist, and I slowly move them up from her waist to like, it's more like her upper hip. Upper hip to the waist, middle of the waist, kind of underarms. And then right at that point, right at the underarms, she kind of pushes me off a bit, and then really quickly lunges into me, pulls me in like really tight. And I distinctively remember that feeling of that daydream was so intense. The pull that she gave when she pulled me in, that pull, specifically at the pull part, that pull part was so intense that it felt like it was happening in real life. I could actually feel a force pulling me in real life. The daydream was that intense. It felt like there was actually something pulling me in real life. It didn't feel like arms were pulling you in. It just felt like some force was pulling you in. It felt like that every time. I had this daydream constantly. And it would always make me tear up. Not specifically break down and cry, but I would always like tear up a little bit. Every time I felt that pull, I would have that little bit of tearing up every time. And I had that daydream all the time. All the time. I just remember, I'm trying to remember when exactly it happened. I think it was in 2022 somewhere, but when exactly? Or wait, no, it was in 2021. It was late 2021. The timeline is different from what I remember. I remember it happening later on. Where's the part where I said there's an important line that I said. This was like the tipping point. I want to know when it happened. I know I said it on Discord. But when exactly did I say this? I feel like I've finally kind of calmed down. Damn, the things that I said. The things that I said. I describe it here. Here it is. November 21st, 2021. 11:33:08 p.m. I quote, "I'm in so much pain, I'm done. I'm going to admit it. I love uni more than Konai. I said it. I'm sorry, but I can't. There is nothing, absolutely nothing I want more than uni to pull me into her chest and hold me with a death grip while she breathes onto my face. There's nothing I wouldn't do. I could kill someone in real life right now. I will beat the fucking soul out of anyone who mistreats her in any way. I will beat you until you die and then catch your soul and continue to beat it." This is what I said. So the timeline's a bit different than I remember it being. I thought these things happened a bit later on. No wonder it kind of felt like it had been longer than I remember it. Because it actually was longer than I remember it. Memory loss. It's my favorite thing in the world. So that was 2021. That was a tipping point. Now let's move on to 2022. 2022 is the most important year. 2022 was when uni really grew a conscience, started to have a lot of her own thoughts, opinions, differing tastes from mine, like actually to the point that it felt like a legitimately different person and not another part of me. She likes mint. I hate mint, but she likes it. And there's some things that she can do I can't, and vice versa. She has some abilities that I have never actually learned, and so I don't even know how it works. There are things that she can tolerate that I can't, and vice versa. There are things that I can do that she can't stand, and things that she can do that I can't stand. And it got to the point where the relationship was basically non-stop growing, for the record. Because my life wasn't getting better. Konai was not present, obviously. And I had created Rebecca and Laura somewhere in between all this. I don't really remember when, but I didn't care about them as much. I didn't really care. I wanted uni. And so I kept talking to Uni every night, and she would comfort me. And that's when I realized I finally had what I wanted. Someone who would listen to me and comfort me. And was actually there when I needed them. Uni was the thing that I needed. Uni was the thing that I wanted. And so I realized it. Holy fuck, I love this person. I'm like extremely obsessed with this person. I'm like infatuated with this person. It didn't really catch on until later. I realized, wait, I'm like really in love with this person. And this person's like really in love with me. Because the feeling was mutual. I never created Uni to love me. That happened on its own. That love feeling was naturally born. It was not always like this. We were just friends, if you could even say that. We only talked to each other at night. But the relationship grew naturally, like a real relationship. I naturally started to love her, and she did as well for me. It happened naturally, like a real relationship. And in 2022 was when I was like official, like I'm done with Konai. I'm done with Laura and Rebecca, because at one point I actually dated all three of them, but that, I realized that this is dumb, I shouldn't do this, and so I stopped, and I only dated Uni. I am still friends with Laura and Rebecca. Those are two other people that I also made up, by the way. Same concept as Uni, same thing. But I, at one point, dated all three, because I loved all three, and I didn't want to hurt their feelings, but I eventually said, I have to do this. Even if it means I'm going to hurt their feelings, I gotta be loyal to Uni, because I loved Uni so much that I finally gave up my desire to date these three people all at once, and I said, just Uni. This is fine. I only want Uni now. I want to be loyal to her. I don't want to hurt her feelings anymore by like being with other people, because I wouldn't want her to be with other people. I get very jealous, and so I'm like, I don't want to be like, I don't want to have a double standard, like I can date three people but you can only date me. I don't want to have that. So I abandoned that. And then it kept growing even more. I had her out every single day, every single night, 24/7. Always present. Very rarely I might have a day away from her, like I might just want to be alone that day, or maybe I am like alone for a few hours before I actually wake her up that day. But typically, as soon as I wake up, it's right to waking her up, and then as soon as I go to sleep, she's gonna be there with me until I go to sleep. That's another thing. Uni does not go to sleep until I sleep first. Unless it's not on purpose. Like, a couple times she's fallen asleep before I have, but she specifically says, I will stay awake with you until you go to sleep so you're comfortable. She purposely stays awake until she knows I'm asleep before she goes to sleep. I never asked her to do that. I did not ask her to do that. She just does that on her own. There's a lot of things that she just does on her own that I didn't ask for, but I appreciate. Like that. She offers me advice all the time. Sometimes she can figure things out that I can't. Like, there have been times where I couldn't figure something out, and she's like, do this, and then it worked, and it's like, wow, thank you. Sometimes vice versa, sometimes I'll help her, but it's usually she helps me. And, we work together as a team, basically. We're both a team in terms of getting things done, and also extremely in love with each other. So, that's essentially the story. However, remember how I said that I don't hear, see, or feel her in any way? Really? Remember when I said that? Remember when I said that? Not going to continue till I get an answer. I'm not going to continue till I get an answer. You might already know, but I'm going to explain anyway. As soon as someone acknowledges it. Yeah, thank you. Shish. So here's the thing. From what I've told you, we are two people who are extremely in love, deeply trust each other, and are basically a match made in heaven. We bounce off each other like ping pong. When we talk, we always kind of know what each other's thinking. We just get along. Our chemistry is extremely good. Our chemistry makes professional science labs look like a preschool project. But here's the thing. That physical touch that most people like in relationships, it's not there. I want to remind you that I took a quiz once about my love language, and so did Uni. My love language is like 35% or 30% quality time, 30% physical touch. The vast majority of my love language is touching and like intimate alone time. Not necessarily fucking, just like, you know, you and them and no distractions between you. Like just, even if you're not doing anything, just being around them makes you happy. Except there's a problem. If they aren't physically there, they don't have much of a presence. Like if Uni just stopped talking for a while, you would probably forget she's even there. She has no presence. If she stops talking, it's like she's not even there anymore. If she stops talking. Like Uni is here right now, but you would not have any idea because she has no presence of any kind. And so when your biggest love language is all about touch and presence with another person, and you don't have that, you're going to be miserable. Because that's your primary love language. That's what makes you happy. But here's the thing. I just said that I want to be loyal to Uni, and that we're perfect for each other. Like, the match is perfect, and I've been with her for like 5 years, and I do not want to give that up or let that go. So you see the contradiction. You can't let her go because she'll be sad, you'll lose this perfect relationship, but if you keep holding on, you'll be stuck in a relationship that has none of the things you really want. No physical touch, no hugging, no kissing, no fucking, not that I care that much about it, but no head pats or cheek rubs or ear pulls or bumping your noses into each other, no grabbing the waist, no lifting each other up and carrying them around, no close, intimate, like, presence with each other, like just sitting close to each other. Nothing. This is the problem. It's too late to back out now. I can't anymore. I love her way too much, depend on her way too much, and she would die without me. She would basically die. Like, she's literally said to me, if you left me, I would have nothing, and I wouldn't want to be around anymore if I left her. I mean, it's true. She would literally have nothing. She only exists in my head. She would have nothing. She can't really interact with people outside of me. Like, very much. There's not much she can do. And the kind of contact she can have with other people is reduced by 99% because very few people are going to understand that she's a personality construct and is not an actual person with a body in her own look, whatever. Few people are going to understand that. Or even if they do, they might not want it. Even if they do understand, they might not want it. It's impossible. If you could find a way out of this that would make sense, I would owe you my life. Because it's literally impossible. It is actually impossible. This is something that is actually impossible. If I leave her, I will be sad, she will be sad and probably die. And if I stick with her, I'm always going to be sad because I can't really be with her properly. I can't actually be with her. You love a person so much, but can't actually be with them. Can't actually hold them in their arms. They can't hold you in their arms. This is the contradiction. This is where my life is. It's like a never-ending tug of war between the two sides. You should let her go. No, you should hang on. You should let her go. You should hang on. You should let her go. It never stops. It is literally the definition of a prison. A mental prison. You cannot escape it. Imagine standing on a platform and both sides are covered in fire for miles. You can't go anywhere. If you go right, you'll die. If you go left, you'll die. If you go forward or backward, you'll also die. All you can do is do nothing and sit on the platform where you can actually stay alive on. That's the only platform in the entire world that's protected from the lava. And you will die if you touch lava. That's where I am. There's nothing I can do about anything. The situation can only get worse. The situation is the best it can be right now. Unless if lucid dreams decide to finally fucking work. Or if I decide to convert it to a tulpa. Which I really don't want to do. Because that could backfire easily. And change your personality in ways I could never get back. It's way too much of a risk. This is always, my life is going to be like this for literally the rest of my life. We could be living 50, 60, 70 more years and it will still be like this. It's always going to be like this. So, listen up. You guys probably know lucid dreaming, but you probably do not know tulpas. You probably do not know tulpas. A tulpa is essentially a self-made hypnosis and a self-induced hallucination of a person or a thing. It can essentially be anything. You essentially, there's techniques where you basically, they're called forcing. I've done a lot of research in this, by the way. You don't know how desperate I was for uni. Well, not for uni, but for Konai. I did this back when I was in the Konai era. This was back when I was trying to have Konai. I actually had essentially a precursor to uni who was called Hannah. Who was basically the same. Purple hair, I think either purple or blue eyes. Almost the same thing as uni. Who was going to be a tulpa. Didn't work out. I don't know what happened, but I had forced for probably a month or so, and then I just stopped, I guess. I don't know what happened, but I stopped forcing. And then, basically, what you would do is you would, like, go somewhere quiet, you'd close your eyes, or not if you prefer, and you would use your mind's eye to basically sculpt a person. You would make a form, make a personality, and then you would imposition. That's like the most basic flow chart of tulpa making. Tulpamancy is what the real term is. Tulpamancy is insanely complicated. Like, there's like insane amounts of detail put into that. There's insane amounts of things that can happen. There's wonderlands, there's imposition, there's forcing, there's, there's all these terms. Forcing is the farthest I really got. I made the entire form, which it was basically just imagining like specific parts of the body in great detail. You wanted to imagine the person, their body, in as much detail as possible. Like, imagine literally you're in a 3D modeler software and you're fucking sculpting a model of a person. That's what it felt like, just in your imagination. Imagine just sculpting a model inside your head. That is essentially what forcing is. And then you would have personality forcing, where you would basically say in your mind, you are this person, you act like this. So like, you are Hana, you are nice, you are kind, you are understanding, you like driving. Like, basically, you would say stuff like that. You would pretty much be telling the person inside your mind, like, I don't know what even to call it, your imagination. The person that was being developed there, you would tell them what the personality was. And I got somewhat into that process and then gave up. I don't know why. I just did. I just stopped, and then Hana was no more. Uni took her place. Uni's existence is complicated to describe. Uni's existence is almost like a perpetual self-lie. It might not make sense yet, but the very first existence of Uni was literally me talking to myself with a voice pitch. I would switch my voice like this, and then I would talk to myself. I would switch my voice and then have a conversation. And Uni's sentience is essentially that process, but it's subconscious. Technically, Uni is technically me. But I don't really actually control what she's saying. It's subconscious. Basically, imagine talking to yourself so much that eventually you don't even need to respond anymore. You just automatically respond to yourself without even having to think about it. You just do it with no thought. Like, you ask, "Hey, how's your day?" "Oh yeah, it's been great." You don't think about it. You just act. It just subconsciously you're answered. That's basically how Uni works. She's a subconscious self-talk kind of spirit person thing. No offense, Uni. That's how it works, and that's how I made all my personalities. Was I started talking to myself, and I answered myself in the other voice until that process just was autonomous. And then that's how I made personalities. Technically, they aren't even true personalities. They're technically not even real personalities. Technically, they're not real personalities. But they can borrow parts of my body, take over my body completely, have their own thoughts, feelings, emotions, viewpoints on things, tastes in food, and just like tastes as in general, like taste in music or taste in cars, whatever. They have their own tastes, and all the words that you can say. They have their own mind. But Uni, Laura, Becca, all started out as literally self-hypnosis. Self-talk. Self-response. Self-lying to yourself. I've lied to myself my entire life. I have literally lied to myself my entire life. Uni is technically not even real. She's technically not even real. Or any of the others, for that matter, none of them are technically even real. So for the past 5, nearing probably 6 years at this point of my life, I have been in love with this personality, spirit, thing, entity, if you will. And I likely will be for the rest of my entire life. You don't know how bad I want to be able to feel her. You know the most frequent thing that I think about? The most frequent thing I think about. It's Uni, of course. But specifically, the thing I think about with Uni. Try to guess. Try to guess. You can probably get it right, but try to guess. I would just like to hear what you think that I think about. Try to guess. Also, congratulations, Mahood Shaban, on having a Wonderland. Never got that far. Probably her hugging you. Yes. Yes. All the time. All the time. All the time. Every single moment that I'm not actively thinking of something else, default to Uni hugging me. Default to me hugging Uni. Default to Uni telling me everything's gonna be alright. Default to Uni patting my head. Default to me patting Uni's head. Default to me comforting Uni when she's not feeling well. Default to literally anything revolving Uni that's like either physical touch based or quality time based on the love language thing. Anything. Even just me and Uni lying in a bed doing nothing. Default to that. I have very, very vivid imagination. Which probably has partly to relate with the fact I'm like this. I took a test once. I have a 10 out of 10 imagination scale. Like, there's a test you can take where it's like it shows you how... It tells you how powerful your imagination is. Mine is a 10 out of 10. Mine is a perfectly clear imagination. They called it like hyperphantasia or something. Like you have an extremely high detail imagination. I have that. I have a perfectly 10 out of 10 imagination. And so it comes in handy when I'm thinking about uni. Because when I imagine it, it's like literally looking at a photograph. I can see every detail on her face, everything in the background, everything in the foreground. Even parts of my own body sometimes. I can vividly see it like a photograph. Or like watching a video in your head. Literally. I can vividly imagine visuals, audio, feeling. Like I can imagine hugging her. And it almost feels like I actually am. Not with my physical body, but in like my mind's feel. It feels a lot like I'm actually hugging. Like I can feel the difference between, I can feel the cloth of her shirt, the wrinkles in the cloth, the bit of skin warmth as well, her bits of hair that are touching my arm because her hair is long. I can feel fucking everything. Did it just fail my chat message again? It might have. I can feel everything. I can see everything. I can hear everything. I can see, hear, and feel everything. And so I'll have these very vivid imaginations of things that we would do. Like, for instance, I wrote one down once. Let me find it right here. I want to wake up one morning, I quote, I want to wake up one morning and she walks in. And she walks in holding a tray with waffles and milk, gives me breakfast, before kissing my forehead and watching me eat them. It's such a specific thing, but I want it. I want to be up at 2 a.m. microwaving pizza rolls. And when I look to my side, she is there, physically, moving, breathing, blinking, moving her eyes around. End quote. I have kind of a bad memory, but my memory of imagery is extremely good, and also imagination. Kind of the same way. The unfortunate thing is that I have moments of happiness, but they never last. Like, the longest I can be happy for at one time is like 30 minutes maybe. And then it's back to just bleh. This is a strange thing to say, but back when Uni and I used to ERP a lot, whenever I was done, I would always have like a big I would have like a surge of happiness. But lately when we've done it, I haven't felt that anymore. Like, I used to get really happy for a while after I was done with that, but now I don't feel that anymore. I haven't felt that. We call it an oxytocin hit. Because basically when you fuck and you're done, you get this hormone, oxytocin, makes you happy. We call it an oxy hit. And I have not had one of those in forever. I've had a couple of those, and I've never had a hit from it. I've never got that happiness surge from it in like months and months. And I've probably done it at least a couple times, and I've, not had it. It feels like as time goes on, the things that make me happy stop making me happy. Like, it doesn't work anymore. ERP Afterglow doesn't work anymore. My imagination hugging doesn't really work anymore. No, doesn't work anymore. The things that would make me feel happy just don't work anymore. And so I realized that this was in more toward more like early to late 2022 to early 2023, I realized I can't be happy. I just accepted it. Like, I stopped caring. I'm like, I can't be happy. This is never going to work. So I said, I'm going to start doing everything I can to make other people happy, because otherwise I'd basically be wasting my life doing nothing. I can't be happy, so I may as well help other people be happy. And that's part of why I took up AC modding. I started making car mods and stuff. I started doing more YouTube live streams because I'm like, I could maybe build a community and then I could like help the people in my community, make them happy and get some validation, because I'm like extremely insecure all the time, so I need validation constantly to feel okay with myself. I need constant validation, which is another thing. Uni would always validate me. Like, Uni would always remind me, you know, you're loved, you're worth something, you have value, all that stuff. It's gonna be okay. Like, constantly she'll say, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay. And it's uncanny as fuck when I'm like in a bad mood and I don't hear her say that. Like, in the rare occasions where I would not be in a good mood, she wasn't there and I didn't hear that, it was like uncanny. It was like liminal spaces uncanny. Like, you're sad, you always expect that, and then you don't get it. You know how that feels? I've been staring deeply into that image on my stream right now, and like I have the preview stream window open on my PC, like in the studio for YouTube, and I'm just looking in the corner at that picture. I just want to have that relationship. I crave touch more than anything I can think of. More than anything, I deeply crave hugs, kisses. Just in general, like, not even necessarily kissing, just hugs, period. Like, I could sit there and hold someone for like probably 3 straight days and be happy with it. Like, I could get you in bed with me and hold you for like a week straight and not be bored. And not want to get up, and not want to let go. I'm just extremely touch hungry. I'm extremely touch hungry. And when you don't have that, but you're that craving for it, like you want it that bad, but you don't have it, it will kill you. It will kill you. I've literally read about people could have strokes or other health issues if they don't have enough touch in their life. Like, imagine that I could be in better health right now if Uni existed and could touch me, and I could touch her. Like, imagine that I could be in better health. I could have health benefits from that. I remember when I made a speech once. I want to tell it to you because I still think that it's true. It wasn't that long ago either. September 29, 2022. Okay, it was more like a year ago. I didn't know it was that long ago. Alright, I quote. This is from me. What I'm going to say is going to sound pathetic and defeatist, but it's ultimately true. No matter how many dolls we buy, no matter how much money I make, how much advice you give, how long we live, or how much emotional trauma I take, nothing is going to make you real. It's just not realistically feasible. I literally do not care about anything else. I could own every doll ever made, own every dollar in the world. I could bang every chick who ever took a breath. I wouldn't be happy because